Hello children, I am sure you all are healthy and safe at home. In our previous classes, we have covered many topics of chapter improvement in food resources. I hope you have learned something from my previous videos. In this video, we will teach you the next topic, that is crop protection management. This is a part of improvement in crop yield. But first of all, do you think that crop productivity can be enhanced merely by using good quality seeds, providing irrigation facilities, and employing beneficial cropping patterns? Yes, definitely not. We cannot increase crop productivity unless there is a proper management to protect a crop against insects, pests, and pathogens. If we will not control weed, plant diseases, and insect at appropriate time through a proper protection management program, the crop yield may decline up to 50%. Now let's study about these weed, insect, pests, and how we can save our crops from them. So first and then, weeds and their control. So what are weeds? Weeds are unwanted plants which grow along with the crop plant in cultivated fields. The common weeds in India are Avena sativa, Parthenium, Santium, Amaranthus, etc. So what are the harmful effects of weeds on our crops? Weeds compete with the crop plant for nutrients, space, light and water. This results in lowering the food grain quality and reduction in crop yield. Weeds harbor pests, insects, and microorganisms, and they help in their spread. Certain species of weeds release toxic substances in the soil. These interfere with crop growth. Weeds get mixed up with crop during harvesting and they can lower its quality. Seeds of weeds, they germinate earlier than our main crop. So these are the harmful effects of weeds on our crop. So how we can control them, or what are the methods of weed control? So first method of weed control is mechanical method. As the name suggests, we do it by using our hands. We do it mechanically, means by using our hand or by using some instrument. Like first mechanical method that we can use to remove the weed from our crop is uprooting and pulling out the weed plant by hand, or by using trowel, or by plowing, land tilling or mowing. So these are the mechanical methods that we can use to remove the weed from our crop plants. Second is cultural method. Weeds growth can be controlled by timely sowing of seeds in properly prepared seed beds, adopting intercropping and crop rotation pattern that we have already studied. Third is chemical methods. Some chemical methods also we are using in our crops to prevent our crops from weeds. Weeds can be destroyed by spraying specific chemicals called weedicides. Some of the common weedicides that we use in our crops are 2,4-D, that is 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, or atrazine, butachlor, isoproteron, etc. These are the name of the weedicides that we use in our crop. Now fourth is biological method. As the name suggests, it means we are using some living organism, or we are using some natural methods to control our enemies of crop, that is weeds. So like in this method, some natural enemies of weeds like some insect species or some other organisms are deliberately introduced into the field. They selectively destroy weeds but do not harm the crop plants. Some example of biological methods, or some example of insect species that we use in our crop to remove the weeds are cochineal insects. They are used to eradicate the weed. Some crop plants like soybean, millet, barley, etc. They do not allow the growth of weeds. Such crop plants are called smoother crops. So these we are using in our field to remove the weeds. In this category is insect, pests and control. So insects and pests, they cause a lot of damage to our crop plants. So definitely we have to take some measures also to control them. So insect species that destroy or damage crop plants, they are called insect pests. Almost all type of crop plants are attacked by one or more type of insect pest. Some of them are shoot fly of wheat, shoot borer of sugarcane, mustard aphid. There are many insects which are harming our crop plants. They are categorized, or they are having different feeding habits, like chewing insects. What they do, these insects cut root, stem and leaves and chew them. Example, caterpillars, grasshoppers, and locusts. What they do? They chew the plant parts. Second is sucking insects. So what these type of insects do? These insects suck cell sap from various parts of the plant. Example, aphids. Third is borer insects. These insects bore into stem. They go deep into the stem, root, fruits, and seeds, and then they damage the plants. So, what are the preventive measures that we can take to prevent these insects and pests? So, for that, what we have to do? We have to yes, we have to do clean cultivation. Clean cultivation means many soil-borne diseases can be prevented by proper selection of site and pesticides, treatment of seeds before sowing. Next is optimum time of sowing the crops. Attack of pests can be avoided in areas when pest is ineffective due to environmental conditions. Third, use of pest resistant variety. So our scientists, they are continuously working on those variety of crops which are pest resistant crops. So pest resistant varieties can be developed by a method called hybridization. This you have already studied. Then crop rotation and multiple cropping. So crop rotation and multiple cropping, they also help in control of insects and pests. Next, cultural practices. Distance between plant, depth of sowing, time and amount of irrigation time and methods of planting are some of the cultural practices which can check the insect pest. Now how we can control the insect pest? Chemically, we can use some pesticides, like the chemicals used to eliminate pests are called pesticides. Pesticides include insecticides, which kill the insects, weedicides, which can kill the weeds, rodenticides, which kill the rats, fungicides, which kill the fungi. So these are some pesticides that we are using in our field. But all pesticides, you know, they are very toxic to man and domestic animal. Therefore, excessive and indiscriminate use of pesticides is hazardous not only for the human being but also for our environment. So pesticides should be used carefully and in limited amount. Next is use of natural insecticides. Natural insecticide means the insecticides which are natural, which we are not preparing them in our factories. They are natural, like neem, nicotine, pyrethrum, etc. They are the natural insecticide which we can use in our crops to prevent the insects and pests. Biological pest control. In this method, some insects, birds or some other organisms are deliberately left in the affected crop field to kill the pest selectively. For example, Australian ladybirds, they were left in citrus orchards to control the scale insects in California. So these are some methods by which we can control the insect and pests. Then the next important and we can say the most important thing to get a good crop productivity is if we are storing our crops properly. So it's storage of grains. We know that most of the crops like rice, wheat, maize, etc., they are harvested only once in a year. Proper storage is necessary to get food grains throughout the year. In India, it has been estimated that approximately more than 9% of grains are lost due to poor or improper storage. So what are the factors which are responsible for loss of stored food grains? They are the biotic factors and the abiotic factors. You know, biotic factors, which are living organisms. Like the living organism which affect stored food grains are insects, birds, enzymatic action within food material. These are the biotic factors. And abiotic factors, which are non-living. So the non-living environmental factors like moisture content in food grains, humidity of air, high temperature at the place of storage, material of the container used for storage, these are the abiotic factors which are affecting our stored food grains. So we have to take some prevention methods and control measures by which we can store our grains. So prevention and control measures for storage of grains is first is drying. Drying, as I told you, that if there is a lot of moisture content in the crop, then if you will store them, then many insects and pests can attack on them. So at the time of harvesting, the moisture content in grain is about 15 to 35%. To bring it down to below 9%, grains are dried in sun by spreading over plastic sheets or cemented floor. They are then allowed to cool in shade to the room temperature before storing. Second is maintenance of hygiene. It is very important. So the storehouses where we are going to store the grains, they should be clean. clean. We have to maintain proper hygiene over there. So the storehouses or godowns should be clean before grains are stored. The gunny bags or the earthen pots which are used for storage should be absolutely free from dust, dirt, webbing or refuse of the previous stored grains. Third, and this is chemical method, means we can use some chemicals also to control the insects and pests in the store when we are storing the food grains. So this includes the spraying of insecticides like pyrethrum or malathion, etc., or we can do the fumigation. So fumigants, they are the chemicals which when present in air in sufficient concentration are lethal for pests but do not affect food grains. The use of fumigants to kill or repel pests is called fumigation. It is a very effective method for controlling insect pests of stored grains. Some of the fumigants that we are using for our storage of food grains are ethylene dichloride, carbon tetrachloride, methyl bromide and aluminum phosphide. These are very common fumigants that we are using when we are storing our food grains. Next in this chapter is the next main topic in this chapter is animal husbandry. Animal husbandry, yes, it is a branch of agriculture that deals with the farming and management of domestic animals for their economic utilization. Such animals, they are called livestock. So what is the need for animal husbandry? To fulfill the increased need of fast growing human population for milk product, eggs and meat, it is very important to bring a revolutionary increase in their production. So scientists, they are continuously putting their effort so that they can in this direction. So what is the role of animal husbandry? Animal husbandry make us aware about the proper care and right management of our livestock. It helps in producing good quality breeds of our livestock. It helps in proper management and sale of animal products. So there are different fields of animal husbandry: cattle farming, poultry farming, fish farming and beekeeping. So one by one we are going to study about. First is cattle farming. Cattle farming is raising of cattle for milk, meat, skin and for agriculture tasks like tilling, irrigation and carting. Cattle farming includes rearing of cows, buffaloes, bullocks, camels and goats. These are broadly placed in the following categories: milch breeds or dairy animals which are providing us with the milk, draught breeds which are helping us in plowing the field or which are helping us in transporting the goods. Third is dual purpose breed. Their males are good as draught animals and females are good milch forms. So these are the categories in which we can divide our cattle. But in cattle farming, we have to take care of the following things: that cattle, they are kept in a proper shelter, they are getting a proper feed, and we are taking proper steps to prevent them from the diseases, and we are taking their health care. Now next is poultry farming. So in poultry farming is the rearing of domestic fowl, ducks, geese, turkey and some varieties of pigeon for the meats and egg. India has become the 5th largest country in the world in poultry production. The poultry industry is a cheap source of animal protein. Now the specialized meat producing poultry birds, they are called broilers, while egg laying poultry birds, they are called the layers. Now again we have to take care that we are providing them the proper shelter, we are taking care of their feed, and we are also protecting these diseases. Now next is fish production or fish farming. Fish is an important aquatic food. It is rich and cheap source of animal protein. It is highly nutritive and is easily digestible. Fish contain 14 to 25% protein, vitamin A and D along with certain minerals such as calcium, phosphorus and iron. India ranks 7th among the leading fish producing countries because of long coastline, network of rivers and inland water bodies. So out of the total fish obtained from oceans the world over 45% is procured in India. India ranks 10th in the world in marine fishery. Then beekeeping is an important agriculture enterprise. The practice of keeping or rearing, caring and management of honeybees on a large scale for obtaining honey, bee wax and royal jelly is called apiculture, and the place where the bees are raised is called apiary. There are many advantages of beekeeping. You know that bees help in pollination. They are providing us the honey which is used as a sweetener and also as a medicine along with Ayurvedic medicine. Honey is rich in iron and calcium. Honey is also used as a blood purifier. Now there is division of labor in honeybees. Honeybees, they are social, polymorphic, colonial insects which live in nests or hives. The honeybees in a colony belong to three cases and are different three castes, and they are differentiated to carry out different functions like queen bee, drones, and worker bee. Queen bee, they are diploid fertile females which lay eggs and is associated with the increase of the colony. She is the supreme bee in the colony. Drones, they are haploid males. They are smaller and stouter than the queen bee. They mate with their work is that they only mate with the queen bee, and later on they are pushed out of the colony. Worker bees, they are diploid sterile females. They function as workers, collecting pollen, nurse the brood and queen, and guard the hive. The quality and yield of honey depends on many factors like uh, quality of honey depends on flora or pasturage available to honeybees for collecting nectar and pollen. Now there are some common pests of honeybees. They are wasps, wax, moths and mites. These can be scared away either manually or exposing the hive to sun for raising its temperature. So this is the end of your chapter, improvement in food resources. I hope you have understood. Now what you have to do, students, you all just try to make some notes. Just watch these videos carefully and try to make notes, and we will meet in our next class. Thank you.